Hey guys, welcome back to probably the worst episode for Andy that we've ever done.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck
This
the
week
horse you rode in on!
because this week we are talking about a show that got blown super overratedly out of like super hyped when it was like new. Sword Art Online. And I'm not okay. Me personally, I don't think the show is bad. But I will admit it was really overrated. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just people said it was way better than what it like really was.
Do you know what? Do you know what this show made me do?
Give up drinking?
No, no. I have an episodic list of episode or like what each episode was about, titled "Fuck Sword Art." I made a list. Fuck this show.
Alrighty. So Andy, yay or nay?
If you want a good reason to blow your brains out, yay. It is god fucking awful.
See, like I said, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum on that. I thought it was actually pretty good. Like that doesn't mean it like I don't recognize a lot of its flaws, but I actually thought it was pretty decent.
So,
I've read and seen better
okay.
shows since then, but
Okay. So, I have issue with this. This is the time where you have where you well, like okay, so you like characters in shows, right? That's your thing. I like
correct.
plot. What fucking plot? Where is it?
Care to summarize, Andy?
Okay, no, I will go down my list. I will go down my list and everything will make itself apparent why I hate this show. Okay? So episode 1 on my list is you have the game set up, everybody's trapped, you have the explanation on kind of the basics on how they expect the game to be played, and like, oh, if you take it off, your head's gonna fry or whatever, right?
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
So, yes. So, you have the setup completely there, all in episode 1. Cool, good idea, do that. Right?
Welcome to the Matrix.
So I'm thinking at this point, when I first saw the show, fine, cool idea, let's go do it, right?
It was a really cool premise.
So episode 2 is where we start hitting some huge roadblocks. Alright? Because this is one of the fucking most dumb moves I have seen in an anime to date.
All right, by the way, as a heads up, this show is also probably going to be entitled in parentheses Andy's rants.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rant. Okay?
This episode's going to be a lot of Andy ranting,
Yes.
and then me just kind of being here like, eh.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, that's not a huge problem. Like, it's not as bad as you think. Okay, episode 2 is almost exclusively the beta players and the new players fighting.
Pretty much.
Which is dumb. You already have the conflict of you guys are fucking stuck in a game. Like, you don't need to add more conflict to conflict unless you're gonna do something with it. But the beta versus newbie conflict is fucking done after this episode.
Like, and the reason for that is Kirito just kind of takes all of the blame for it.
But
Like
that doesn't stop anything.
I know, he just makes himself a martyr of hate.
Which, I mean, would be fine it would actually like explain anything, but it doesn't. It's just like there's this conflict between the new players and the players who got into the beta, and we'll just never talk about it again because it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah. On top of that, a Gil, however you pronounce his name, big tall dude carrying the axe.
Yeah.
He kind of also made the point of having that just kind of not be an issue by being like, yeah, the beta players have helped us as much as they could.
Well, yes, but it was one of those things that if you set it up, it's episode 2. Like, you had a really cool boss fight. Like, there's all sorts of things that can go into it, but when you just all of a sudden just go like throw things in there and then just never reference them again, especially when it's, like, again, it could be a cool plot point, but then it's not. Again, I'll just put it as wasted. I will write it off as wasted potential. I will write it off as wasted potential. Could be good if they did anything with it. Otherwise, you could have just cut like all of episode 2 besides the boss fight, and you would have lost nothing.
Well, it was also the introduction of Kirito meeting Asuna.
Again, part of the boss fight, I'd like to say.
True.
So like,
but
most of that episode is completely null and void because it never makes an appearance again. It's just it's dumb, right? So let's go into episode 3. Episode 3 is literally, oh shit, we're in a video game and we're dying. Thank you, episode 1, for not hammering that home.
So it set up. What it did was it tried to make Kirito like have a reason for wanting to be alone.
Yes, but would you not set that up in episode 1 where you're describing that people are dying in the game?
Yeah, kind of.
So
and like he did make the point of like, I can't take a lot of people with me if we want to survive. If I want to survive.
Here's the thing. They go back to that same murder in that same episode 4 fucking times. Like, there's no progression. There's nothing. It's just literally the same party wipe 4 fucking times in an episode.
See, like, I have to try to think a little bit, because, like, whenever I'm thinking of these episodes, I'm thinking of, like, the abridged series that I've watched, and they do, like, a lot better. They actually do kind of a better job of telling some of the story.
Isn't that dumb, though? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying, like, the concept is there. You could have done really cool things with it, and you fucking did nothing.
They made the one chick that was kind of, like, building a little bit of a bond with Kirito, the one that was, like, that basically traumatized him with her death, was, like, they made it so her death was caused by lagging in the abridged series.
Oh, my question. Here's a really good point, okay? So we have an episode where your party gets wiped, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you want it to have a huge emotional pull because obviously that's why you have a party wipe of people who can't come back, right? You want to have this emotional connection you want to have your main character have emotional connection to this person. Why not just why are we showing the same kill 4 times when you could be spending that time creating an actual relationship with the fucking characters?
True.
Anyway.
No, like, I agree. Like, the 3rd episode is one of my least favorites.
Anyway.
Like, I always, when I rewatch the series, I skipped that.
Let's move into episode 4, shall we?
All right.
All right.
Is that the one where Silica gets introduced?
Yes. where it is a quest to save the pet and probably try and save the series by fan service.
Define what you mean by fan service.
Let's have giant tentacle plant rape
On a lolly character.
on a lolly character
That was so
3
wrong.
times.
It was just kind of funny how she's just like, save me, but don't look. He's just like, that's kind of hard to do.
Granted, it did make for probably okay. Here's a sad point that I'll put out. That's the funniest fucking line in the entire series.
Save me, but don't look.
Save me, but don't look. I'm too embarrassed. That's like the funniest line in the entire series, and like
It was.
That's it.
It's. I love. Like, all right, I'm gonna bring up the abridged series a few times in this, so just bear with me on this. That episode was fantastic because they made it when they found that like feather or whatever the fuck they needed.
yeah.
Like they found it. She's like, with this I can resurrect. I can resurrect Pina. It's like, yeah, we just need 28 more of these. What? What? Who designs a game like that? You don't play a lot of MMOs, do you?
Okay. So that's a fair point.
You don't just get one thing to get an item in an MMO. You get like 100.
So
It did have a really. I thought it was really fucking cool that the end of that episode when they get attacked by that like. They introduce like the whole like player killers and like people who attack other players.
yeah. So I mean that was the point of it, the entire thing, but like it's set up in such a way where like, oh, it's a plot twist, like the people who are watching are gonna. You lost your audience at Save the Pet, like it. You completely went off the rails and were like, okay, we're doing the whole Save the Pet thing, which is vastly different than what you've been setting up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just at the very end he's like, yeah, I kind of just used you as bait to lure these guys out.
Cool. Don't get me wrong, I think that in terms of like watching the episode, you're like, oh my gosh, it was actually for something. But like when you start watching the episode, you've completely lost, well, not completely lost your audience, but like in terms of like me, I was completely done watching as soon as you're like, oh, we're gonna go on a quest to save your pet. Like, I don't care about your pet. Like
if they would have included like a scene or something where like it kind of showed like Kirito's true intention.
Or
like that would have it would have been a little bit better because it would have set up like the idea of he's not doing this to be like just to be nice. He's doing it because he has a goal.
Yeah, it was one of those things that's like, I don't like, you just don't understand people's whatever. It doesn't matter. Shall we continue? Shall we continue on What the Fuck Avenue?
I real quickly though, with that whole like confrontation with the player fight, like the player hunting guild or whatever,
Yeah.
just how they just start wailing on Kirito and like he just stands there like, I don't give a fuck.
Hold on.
And they're just like, it's like, how is he not falling? Very simple. My numbers are bigger.
No. Here's the thing. Because you see in that episode his healing and regeneration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never referenced again. Ever. The entire series never references that he heals for a fucking billion. He was knocked down to like no health and just like, oh yeah, no, I'm stuck at no health now. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be like you lost all tension that the main character is fucked when they're at low health because he regenerates ridiculously fast.
Well, that's because they were too weak to actually like out DPS his healing. Because like in essence, the whole idea was he had so much health that his regen like was so high that their minimal DPS was not as good as his base healing. But if like a character like let's say he had like 70,000 health or something like that. Like he's only healing 200 a second or something or like whatever. Or like 200 every 5 seconds, regardless, whatever the regen was. Like they were low enough levels that they weren't out doing that damage.
Okay. Oh,
But later on when he gets low on health, the healing's not going to do very much if it's only like 200 a health a second when you have like 100,000 health.
I was saying like the visual representation of him taking boatloads of damage. Not boatloads, but like a decent amount, you know, like a tick or two from them just wailing on him, and then all of a sudden his health bar comes back. Like at no other point do they ever talk about regenerating health. Which is an ability he has, which he just forgets about, and I guess if you forget about your ability, you just don't regenerate health anymore or something.
This is one series I wish they actually had like some filler for to like expand more on ideas.
But it was just one of those things that I'm just like, okay, so you have regeneration, and most games have regeneration. I understand, I get it, I'm with you, but like, how is the regeneration not affecting anything else at this point? I don't get it. So then we go into episode 5 and 6, which, we're now dealing with a murder mystery.
And ghosts.
You know, because you totally watched Sword Art Online, you know, the one that's set up as a video game that you're stuck in, that you die in, because you totally want to see Kirito the detective. With his...
It goes basically from a horror to a drama to
murder mystery.
Like it does a lot of genres.
What I don't understand is like, so if you make a show, you pick one that you wanna be, because then it makes sense when you go through and do whatever you're doing.
Right.
If you want to be a video game style action, like adventure, like, you know, like the action adventure MMO that you're fucking watching them play, why are we fucking watching what's like Sherlock Holmes now? Like, what? Why? I don't get it.
Oh, let's not forget the fact that they bring up the Laughing Coffin Guild.
Okay.
That has no relevance
to
the rest of the story.
So, at least for what you think of now, because trust me, we'll get there eventually. Because
yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I got to episode 8 and I stopped the fuck Sword Art Online notepad because I fucking got a headache.
Which one was 8? Was that the one where he gets his other sword?
I think so. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because there's, like, again, like, episode 7 is a quest for ore. Yeah, because then she builds him the other sword, which he doesn't fucking use. And congratulations, nobody knows why he fucking bought the thing. And
yeah, he's like, I
got this weird ability, because it's just like, it's dumb. Fucking, it's just dumb.
He's just like, yeah, I need a sword that's good or better than this one, as good or better than this one.
So then they introduce yet another character to this list of characters that you don't give a fuck about for no fucking reason.
Oh, we forgot to mention that with one thing that I had an issue with was with especially was Asuna. Like when they first introduced her back in episode 2, like she's the only one that didn't hop on the Kirito hate train. And like she was actually like nice and everything like that. But then when she comes in again later on, she's just a giant bitch.
I understand that though. That's actually one of the things that I'm like perfectly okay with. Fuck Kirito. Fuck this useless motherfucker.
I'm just saying, like in general, it doesn't really make much sense.
I don't care if it doesn't make sense. Fuck him. Make her pissed at him. PK that motherfucker.
PK that motherfucker.
Anyway.
All right.
Oh yeah,
But
no, because then we start getting into the even weirder shit, which is like, oh yeah, by the way, the programs are fucking people now.
Yui.
Fucking what?
Okay, before then though, let's talk about probably my favorite and probably the best episode of the entire series, where he actually like with the badass boss fight of him actually revealing his dual wielding skill.
What was the boss? I'm trying to remember.
It was just a giant like minotaur,
Oh yeah, the Minotaur thing.
and like luckily it didn't have any skills, and the people that they were trying to save, that party or whatever that was trying to take it on, dropped it by a full health bar before he jumped in. Otherwise, Kirito would have been fucked.
That was one of those that I'm just all like, so like that's another thing. How the fuck is this game balanced?
Oh, it's not.
At all. So
It's not supposed to be.
no, it doesn't make sense. Like, so I'm just speaking from like a core. I mess with video games and like, read up on research, and like, video games is kind of my thing, right?
Yes.
How the fuck would someone make a game, first of all, virtual reality, that is 100 floors gigantic, because heck knows you barely see a fraction of any fucking floor there is.
Right, that's one of my biggest issues with this show, is that they jump around the floors too much.
They jump around the floors, and like they're like, oh, by the way, the first floor, it took them how long to find the entrance?
It took them a full month to clear the first floor.
So if you have a game of that scale, right? How the fuck is anybody gonna pay for that? Keyword, no one is, because like the last time anybody decided to build a game of such massive scale, it destroyed the company funding it. Literally. And that was if it was a complete success, it would have destroyed the company.
That's where monthly subscriptions come in.
But it would have died before the subscriptions even became a thing.
Meh.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of companies are going to, like, more of a regular subscription, not necessarily subscription based, but like recurring revenue streams. And
I was gonna say, don't forget the magic word, loot boxes.
No. The magical word is live services.
Microtransactions.
Anyway, fuck all that shit. That's for
Welcome
a different.
to EA. Whoops! Did I just say that out loud?
That's for another discussion some other day. Anyway, you need to have the servers running properly, which, by the way, no company has fucking done ever. First day, have to be running 100% on power, like everything, whatever. Like, without issue. Nothing makes sense! This game doesn't fucking make sense. Nothing at all makes sense. Why would you turn it into a prison for all of the people? Like, why would that be beneficial to the person who did it? Like,
oh, don't worry, Kayaba. the evil dude, he explains it at the end, right? Right?
No! He explains fuck all!
That was the worst fucking ending to this arc, was just,
So,
why did you do it? You know, after all this time, I don't remember.
yeah,
What?
like, your plot cannot be I don't fucking remember, because this show was written by a fucking toddler with Tourette's. Like full ADD mode. I'm just saying, like, oh, you know what would be really cool? We should have them fight Santa Claus. That should be a plot point, right? Like,
I, for- I forgot that was the fucking optional boss.
yeah, there's an optional boss,
The
fucking
event
Santa Claus.
Oh, and it just gives the revival item.
That only works 10 seconds after someone dies.
So that brings up the point of, at least it takes some time for like the gear to register the death before it actually fries your brain.
Okay, so if it takes some time for it to register, hold on, where are the fucking coders? Right? Like, I'm just saying, within a day of any game release now, you can find someone that delved into the code and found, like, fucking Easter eggs for shit.
Yeah, they crack open the source code immediately.
So, like, okay, my favorite example, right, is Battlefield 1 was out, right? Battlefield 1 was out for less than a fucking week before they figured out, oh, because they dove into the code and were like, oh, so what you need to do is you need to go to the top of this tower. You need to set this beacon, run back, mess with these torches, come back, and then you'll get the most legendary skin for an item. Like, less than a week! Took them a month to get out of the starting area. Like, what kind of fucking retards do they have looking at that fucking code?
I love how can we also bring up the fact that apparently Kirito's like a whiz with computers and programming himself, but doesn't understand shit.
Or that, like,
Because he was able to go into like the access terminal or whatever, pull that up somehow, and just like convert Yui, like save Yui's entire programming in existence
as an item, which, by the way, has no fucking use up until, oh yeah, by the way, we're going into another game now. This totally fucking makes sense.
And the entire Elfheim series can just not exist.
All right, should we go into the Elfheim series? Let's go into the Elfheim series.
Yeah, because basically, summarizing the end of actual Sword Art, they get to floor like 75 or 76 or something like that. Basically, the boss wrecks shit. They find out that like the leader of the biggest guild is the evil dude. Kirito challenges him, and through some bullshit Deus Ex Machina wins.
Oh yeah. Can we go over how every other character just fucking dies, and for some reason Kirito gets fucking killed, and then goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm dead, but I'm gonna stab you still."
Because I have like heart or whatever. It's like
because I don't know where my screenwriter gets the fucking gall to put this in the fucking show.
Because what was it? I think it was like his human will outdid the entire coding and programming of the game.
Considering that's a code thing that is totally not just full bullshit called by bullshit, which is bullshit.
Yeah, the ending was pretty bad.
Okay, so we're beyond the first Sword Art Online, where it's actually Sword Art Online. Let's go to Alfheim, where it's not Sword Art Online, but still called Sword Art Online. Because again, if you have a working IP, you might as well milk it for all the jizz that'll drop out of somebody's already well used anus. I don't think that was a vivid enough description. Anyway.
So the whole plot is Asuna's still trapped in the virtual world. Kirito finds out she's being held there because some really creepy, perverted, like, rapist dude is like keeping her in that world.
Why does it always boil down to rape? Always. So
What?
so throughout the show, in the first season, I'm gonna call Alfheim the second season because truthfully, it pretty much is.
It is.
It is. So
It's the second arc.
Through the entire first season, they set up this shit love scenario between Asuna and Kirito. It's fuck awful. It was written by a toddler. It was bad. Because it's all like, oh, they're spending time together and solving murder mysteries and kind of off doing their own thing. But they love each other now because nothing is fucking explained in this show. Because who has time for actually writing? So now Kirito and Asuna love each other. Or something through this series of events that happens off screen because hell knows on screen it doesn't make sense. Enough for him to be like, you know what I'm gonna do since I was imprisoned for, what was it, 2 years?
Yeah.
So I've been imprisoned for 2 fucking years in this headgear. I'm gonna immediately put the headgear back on to play this other game that's remarkably essentially the same game, except with wings. Because...
And with less being trapped.
And less being trapped, except kind of being trapped, because... Hell knows he's using the same old one that still had the... By the way, what fucking government would be like, oh, virtual reality just imprisoned, like, fucking 10% of our population, which destroyed our economy, because there's no way it fucking didn't destroy the economy. And they're like, you know what? These next people coming out with virtual reality? No, they're totally trustworthy. Like, fuck no.
Well, the headset that they did, like, that they created was designed to make it so that they could not ever be trapped, or, like, it couldn't basically fry their brains.
Okay, I'm just saying that would be ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd that any government would not be like the U.S. government literally had a leak, a radiation leak from one of the nuclear reactors, banned nuclear reactors altogether. Like, we can't make another nuclear reactor because someone fucked up. Like, that's it. We don't have that technology anymore. That is not an option to us. Like, you don't think that they would have stomped that shit into the dirt? You're fucking ridiculous. Anyway, now that we get past that whole thing, so let's jump into this game, and it is the most streamlined crap story. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Whatever. You go up to the top, and oh yeah, by the way, the game's unwinnable, except when it's not.
Because Yui.
Because oh yeah, we put that plot point in there specifically for this one moment alone. And by the way, we're gonna completely forget Yui exists for the rest of the fucking series.
Right.
So
let's have our own OP hacking tool and not use it.
Yeah, like that seems perfectly legit. I don't see any problem with this, right?
Like, let's not forget about the fact that they introduced Kirito's sister.
Oh yeah, they introduced Kirito's sister, and then never do anything with it.
Except make her have just a giant, like, crush on Kirito.
Because incest is fine.
To be fair, they're not actually brother and like biological brother and sister.
Okay, it
I
doesn't
think they're
fucking matter.
cousins.
It's fucking weird. You could have had such a great like you could have had a great thing between the two without it being the way it was. Like
Yeah, I know. They didn't
doesn't
have to turn it like she has like a romantic interest in him,
anyway, it's fucking dumb. Just
right?
all of Alfenheim and all of its bullshit can go die in a hole. It's fucking dumb.
Not to mention they just it's like, oh yeah, to make it so he doesn't have to work for anything, we're just gonna give him like all of his stats from Sword Art.
Which they explain, and it's the fucking dumbest explanation, because we go into Gun Gale Online, and it's fucking dumb. There's a lot of dumb things going on. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Alright, so basically like turns out the big bad dude of Elf like that Kirito is trying to stop and rescue Asuna from.
It doesn't fucking matter. Nothing matters. Literally, it's just the
They brought
end
up
of
a whole they brought up like a whole mind control subplot and just don't do anything with it.
Yeah, because like
Okay, so
okay,
I
like
I
literally,
actually
like we went over the whole no government would ever fucking trust any virtual reality at that point anymore. Okay, let's say a government does trust a company to fucking do that again. How the fuck are they not breathing down their necks, figuring out what the fuck they're doing with it?
so they they explain like I watched a video of this guy like kind of giving an idea of what they should have done for the ending of Alfheim instead of just making Kirito be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to use like the original creator of Sword Arts like admin access to somehow like go in and basically like rid your bullshit like admin like status null." They should have made it where like they brought up the whole mind control thing. They should have made it where like that actually became a plot point where he used that on Asuna and Kirito and Asuna had to fight each other. Because
Well,
they've made it a point that Asuna is like the only one that is pretty much at Kirito's level.
or here's an idea. Here's an idea. Fuck it.
Wouldn't that have been a better ending though?
It would have been something, but at that point you're just disinterested. Like at that point I was disinterested because like first of all, the the Asuna and Kirito thing didn't fucking make sense to me because it just didn't. Like the characters are just crappy and like I understand that there's something there, but not to the point that, they portrayed in the show. By the way, should we get to Gun Gale? I really want to get to Gun Gale.
Yes,
because there's a very specific point to it.
All right. Yes, so basically Alfheim ends with Kirito wins, Asuna wakes up. They get together in their real life.
Okay, so like I feel that a lot of season 1 was completely wasted because they wanted to make a season 2 and had no fucking clue how.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Because they're like, oh, we're going to make these little quips and these little, like, things and make them love each other, but we have to have them in the same screen, but we can't write for damn, so, like, we're going to have most of their actual growth and development happen, like, in between episodes and, like, actually having the people watching the show care about them. They'll care about them regardless, whatever their main characters. So they'll totally, like, buy into it. There's no fucking point. Like, literally, if you ended season 1 and everyone fucking woke up, we could have went straight into Gun Gale.
Yeah, they did not have to include Alfheim.
Alfheim was a fucking awful piece of shit, never should have been made.
They could have had it where, like, oh, they just kind of discover it and, like, everybody was just like, well, regardless of us, other than us getting actually trapped in there, Sword Art wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden everybody else from Sword Art's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm totally jumping in on this shit. Like, I'm sorry, I have fucking psychological trauma for years.
The fuck is PTSD?
So, whatever.
Nobody needs that shit.
We'll keep going. So then we get to Gun Gale. And I have the one thing. The one time I will praise this show for fucking anything. You found a fucking plot! It took you 2 seasons, but you found it!
I really enjoyed Gun Gale. I'm not gonna lie. I loved Gun Gale, and it actually had probably my favorite character in it. Shion is without a doubt my favorite character in this series.
Okay, so I agree. Shion's probably the best character. That's not saying much. Kirito is still a fucking tool.
Why did they have to make him a woman?
That was by far the funniest fucking thing.
It didn't make any sense.
Well, no, because he wasn't a woman. He just had long hair.
No, like it was a woman avatar. They made it a point to actually say that. It was a female avatar.
I don't think it was. I think it was just a long-haired male avatar, but like... I thought it was just a male avatar with just long hair.
I thought like the dude wanted to buy it because it was a female avatar. Because he had like the random guy asking to purchase the avatar.
No, he had the weird item drop that was... Or he had that super rare item drop and then was like, oh, this is the male one, he'll pay whatever. Or no, it was is that the female one, he'll pay whatever. But then he said it was the male one, and that was the then he'd pay that much more. That's what it was.
Regardless, like everybody thought he was a female.
Anyway, yeah, everyone thought he was a female, which I thought was fucking hilarious because
and he played off of it too.
Oh, totally. But I think
love how Shion was just like...
That was part of the reason why I liked it more. Was because like, oh, all of a sudden we're just gonna like really mess with this character that I thought was a fucking brick, like.
And that played into the factor of like when Shion was how she found out was she was changing to get ready for like the Ballad of Bullets or whatever, and like she just started changing. And I'm like, why did they need to make obviously fan service, but like why did they need to make her unclothed to put on her other equipment when you could just do that in the fucking menu?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously fan service. Because this show just needs fan service because there's no actual content.
Like it didn't make sense, and like she got mad when it's a fucking avatar. It's not her actual body.
I don't know. I'd say I'd be still weirded out just because like.
Okay, I get it. It's virtual reality, but still.
Yeah, whatever. I'm moving straight past that because fuck it. There's an actual plot with characters with actual problems. Don't get me wrong. We went back to, hey, look, we're a murder mystery, but you're a murder mystery throughout a season.
It actually had like a huge plot.
Or is it half a season? I couldn't remember.
It was the first half of Sword Art 2.
I think that was an entire season because I think Sword Art 1 was 2 seasons, Sword Art 2 is 2 seasons.
Yes, like Sword Art 2. Okay, the way Sword Art 2 was, I think it was like 26 episodes. The first half was Gun Gale. The second half was just random little mini arcs of random shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was.
Like, I had you stop when they were going to go get Excalibur.
That was really dumb.
It had an awesome Shion moment in it, though.
It was so painful.
The end of the Excalibur arc was like one of my favorites. because like Kirito apparently didn't have enough strength to carry the sword and wield it. So instead of just putting it in his inventory because they had to like jump from it or whatever, he couldn't physically jump while carrying the sword. So he drops it like and it's falling down like falling from like the top like that like the dungeon they're in. It's falling all the way down to the ground. Shion just like pulls out her bow. She's like, I got this. Just fucking snipes the sword and just like rings it in.
So weird.
And like in front of Asuna and all the other girls that like basically have the same crush on Kirito. She's just like, "Here, you can have it, but just remember every time you use it, think of me." Just like get fucking wrecked, Asuna.
It's so dumb though. Like, you want to set up these characters, you want to set up love interests and shit, but like, it's not a harem show. Like, we're not talking about like you just spent an entire season with this character. Like, I, I'll put it this way: you cannot be every genre. You can't do it. It
I know
doesn't.
they did try really hard.
They really tried super hard, and it made them look like fucking morons.
I don't know why they did it. Like I said, I didn't mind the show, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to point out its flaws.
But okay, so that is my reasoning to put Sword Art Online as one of the worst fucking shows ever made.
I've seen way worse.
I no, the reason why I'm putting it there is because what fucking plot? Like, it doesn't feel like it should be a show because there's fuck all to it. And the shit that's there doesn't make sense chronologically or fucking like okay, we're gonna have Sword Art, or we're gonna have the Gun Gale arc, and this Gun Gale arc is all about this guy and the fucking laughing coffins, the player killers that survived, and like they're gonna be killing people in the real world while someone's like putting on a mask and killing them in game, and like it's gonna be like super cool and whatever. But remember that we need to go back in time and put it in there that they had a huge fight with the laughing coffins because
Which
they
doesn't
didn't put
happen
it in
in
the
the
original
actual
series.
Like I said, like they brought up Laughing Coffin in like the first season, and then like they probably got to like the second season, we're just like, what the fuck do we do? Oh wait, we have this one little plot thing that we never did anything with. Let's make that the center of the entire season.
But that was just the thing. Like, you can't do that. You
That's what I'm saying. Like it was bad that they did that.
So I don't know. I'm putting, like, I really wanted to have like a button or something and just keep a sin counter, like cinema sins, for the amount of shit that this show put me through, because it was driving me fucking nuts.
I felt bad giving you this show. I did.
Oh, no, you fucking didn't. You laughed, you douche.
Of course I'm gonna laugh. I'm your friend. I'm supposed to laugh at your misery.
Oh, all
That
right.
doesn't mean I have to enjoy it.
Anyway, we got through my horrible ranting bullshit. Um,
It took us a while.
yeah, it did. It took us a long while. This was a long episode.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add in?
Nope.
You don't want to hold on. I said all the bad things. You don't want to put like one good thing in there?
Um. So, the show did have its moments of I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like they had some good action scenes. The action scenes you got to admit were actually pretty good.
If they ever showed up.
There weren't a lot, but the ones that they did have were good.
think
Um,
think they had what, 3 of them in the
they,
entire first season?
some of the supporting cast was actually pretty good. Like Klein was awesome. He was just like the goofy random dude.
Oh, the one we saw like for 2, 3 episodes at most.
Yeah, he like I said, supporting cast. He wasn't. I wouldn't consider him a main character.
See, we'll keep going.
Um, Gungale was actually pretty good. Um, Shion's just one of the best characters they made.
One of. I'm scared you put that as a one of.
I like some of the other characters, but like honestly, it's not like I made the point before. It was incredibly overrated.
Yeah, it was.
Like it wasn't bad in my opinion, but it wasn't as good as everybody made it out to be.
I'm not gonna lie, some of the cringiest moments when we went to Asa in that first time was all the Kirito costumes, and I'm just all like,
Oh, there was so many.
why would you do that? Like, what's wrong with you?
But I digress.
Alright.
We've gone on long enough.
We did go for a very long time. This is like a 50... Yeah, we're at 51 minutes.
We're at 51.
Yeah. This is almost an hour-long episode.
I'm not surprised. I knew you were going to go on ranting.
Oh... I had to, though, because people try and defend it, and it's like, no. Just don't. Please don't.
I say watch it if you want to see how really like not to organize an anime.
Or any writing in general. Like, I don't know. I was like half the time like trying not to just turn it off and start reading a book. Like,
I think that it would have actually benefited from having a few more episodes of filler
or like
that
promote. I think
exploring the world.
that's what I wanted. I don't give a shit about these fucking shitty characters that don't have personalities and are pieces of shit. I want to see a fucking world where there's like giant plant monsters and like what else is in that world that could be really cool and interesting and not the same crap that we got.
Yeah, there's very little like world exploring of these like 100 floors. Like we pointed out earlier that they kept jumping between the floors in the first arc, and it was like, oh, the first 2 episodes are on floor 1. The next episode they're on floor like fucking like 30 something.
Okay, can I point something out too? With them jumping floors as they did, it was always into a town.
Yeah, they're always in a town.
Always. So it's
minus like the start of a couple episodes, but then it immediately went to them going to town.
So it was like, what's the point in there being different levels and this whole world built if you're just gonna show us the same town? Like,
Yeah. Was not wise.
just
But it's over with now.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Can't do that to me again.
Just wait till I give you Ruby.
Oh no. Dude, I'm seriously dreading that because like I got such a headache just trying to watch the first episode.
I would literally make you watch the first 3 seasons.
I get it, but like I had a
It
full blown migraine because of the animation that first
that
episode.
the first season is so bad. I like the story's not bad, but the animation is very, very bad. Is like not okay. It's it's a grind to watch it.
Okay,
I'm not gonna deny. Like if you watch the most recent like an episode from the most recent season and then compared that to the animation of the first season, it's like night and day.
yeah. Well, I'm just warning you that it might take me a while to get through it because
Oh yeah.
the first
I'm not
episode
I'm
gave me a migraine.
Don't
Like,
worry. I'm not planning on giving that to you for a long time.
okay. Anyway, let's
I just said just be prepared.
let's let's get you a show to watch.
Oh God. I'm dreading the revenge on this.
I am going to give you XXX Holic.
So basically alcoholic.
No, actually, XXX is a cultural thing. So XXX in America would be alcohol, drugs, sex, the kind of things that are under the table banned, kind of things you don't talk about. In Japan, XXX is paranormal.
Huh. Alrighty.
So that's your history lesson for today. But yes, XXX Holic. And we'll see where that one goes.
Indeed.
Yay for me finding shows that like no one would ever find.
Oh man, it's like 24 episodes.
I think you only need to watch like the first. I'd say like only watch a season. If you want to watch all of it, whatever.
If I want to.
It's you will figure out if you like it or not, like
Okay.
really quickly.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. Are we waiting it out for the hour long mark, or are we just cutting it
No.
now?
We'll just cut it now.
You gonna cut it now? You
Don't
sure?
drag it out longer than it needs to.
Yeah. Yeah. In all honest, nothing is necessary at this point. We're we're already at far time.
We really are.
Oh goodness, nothing is necessary. We all waste our lives, man.
Can I ask, is this suggestion going to be like revenge for Sword Art?
I'm not sure. This is an
I'm
older
not sure.
series. Like this is a much older series.
Alright.
But that being said, it is one of my friend's favorites. So I don't know what that necessarily means for you.
Apparently it first aired July 25th of 2013.
Yes, but the animation style is way older than that.
Ugh. I'm kind of very like for like older animation.
It's a thing. You're either gonna love me or hate me. It's fine. Probably not. It's probably gonna be like middle of the road for you, but like.
Fair enough.
All right. Yep. That's it. I'm done.
Alrighty.
We gotta hurry up. Otherwise, it's gonna be an hour. We can't do it, man.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye. 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 Bye.